Good evening. My name is Yolando Lovelace. I'm the Director of Black Hawk County Veterans Affairs. And as we lead up to Veterans Day, what a great opportunity to come together and to celebrate, first here in his vision of the city. It's great to see the W flag flying. But with the W flag flying, I would like to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Waterloo is a veteran-friendly town, but we also love each and every one of us, right? We really show that compassion for each and every one. And Waterloo is a place to live, a place to raise your kids, and a place to grow up. Because why? Because I am a consumer of that, right? And I was born and raised right here in Waterloo in that standpoint. And so went to Grant Elementary. Anybody remember Grant? Anybody remember Logan? Mayor, those schools are gone for some reason. And then a graduate of East High. But welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you would rest on your feet as we prepare for the presentation of the colors, and the colors are going to be presented by the West High JROTC. If we could please stand.
Forward, march. Details. Hot. Left. Fist. Present. Close.
And something we all can do together is say the Pledge of Allegiance. And if you would say the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carry. Cross. About. Face. Step. Face. Pose. Present. Arms. Order. Arms. About. Face. Pose. Face. Step. Right. Face. Forward. March.
You may be seated. And now, without further ado, to introduce the Honorable Mayor Hart is his lovely daughter, Alana. So, Alana, Alea, would you come on up and introduce our Honorable Mayor?
Hi, my name is Halea Hart, and I'm a 6th grader at Hoover Middle School. I would like to welcome you all to the state of the city. I have the honor of introducing my favorite dad in the world, but some of you may know him as Mayor Quentin Hart. My dad works very hard, and he is always telling us to hurry up because he has to get to a meeting. I didn't know somebody could have so many meetings. My dad thinks he can sing, dance, and rap, and he also believes he is a chef because he's always in the kitchen. And sometimes the smoke alarms go off because of his creations. But still, I am his #1 food taster My dad always tells me that I am his favorite daughter, and I say, "Dad, I'm your only daughter." He then says if I had to pick a daughter all over again, he would choose me. And every time I ask him a simple question, it's a 5-minute lecture about the time he walked 7 miles to school or some rap lyrics. I love my dad, and even though I know he loves me, my brothers, mom, and family, I know he loves and supports Waterloo. He works hard in the morning, day and night to help our community. Without further delay, I would like to welcome my dad, Mayor Quentin Hart.
Good evening. That's a little weak. The longer, more feedback means quicker. Good evening. Good evening. Wow, what an introduction. And you have no idea how much I had to pay for her to do that today, right? But it is such an honor and a privilege to stand before you today as mayor of this great city, Waterloo, Iowa. We have much to acknowledge and celebrate as we come together to both reflect on the state of the city and to officially dedicate the Sullivan Brothers Memorial Plaza, which is the crown jewel of our Veterans Way project. And thank you to Yolando Lovelace, who didn't introduce himself, I don't think, but he is the executive director of the Black Hawk County Veterans as well. Sergeant Paul Wallace and the West High JROTC. Our city council members, could you please stand up? Can we give them a round of applause? And what people fail to realize, city councils don't always agree with one another, but it's the way in which those disagreements take place that defines their enthusiasm, defines their dedication, and their support. So I want to thank them for being class acts this entire time. And it's not just about my vision, but it's about all of our visions, about our collective visions, and I want to personally thank each and every one of them. And to city staff members, our city team, could you please stand up? Could you please stand? They worked so hard, and one, I just wanted to get a head count of how many city staff members were actually here, right? I'll remember that. But they worked so hard, and today we will highlight their incredible work throughout the year. And to all of our other elected officials and our dignitaries, and to our community members that are here, and of course to my family, my lovely wife, Cassandra. You met my daughter, Halea. To my mother-in-law, Mrs. Viola Cody, to Mrs. Vicky, and to my cousin Terrell via Dennis Hart as well that are here. And I'm sorry if I missed anyone else. But what a great introduction. To be embarking on my 5th term as Waterloo mayor is incredible. And the support of so many and the work of countless individuals has powered me to lead a city that is poised for continued growth and prosperity. And the message and results that I'll share with you today reflect that. And during my time serving as mayor and before that, councilman in my own hometown, one major takeaway for me is that there is more learned in the journey towards success than the actual achievement in itself. Because in that journey, you find out who really supports you. You find balance in the highs and the lows, and you find the way in what, you find the why in what you do. So embrace your journeys and never give up on your goals. And with an eye toward our Waterloo 2030 Community Vision Plan, it lays out 8 strategic goals. And here are some of the highlights that showcase that incredible achievements accomplished this year across nearly 30 departments with all of the partners here. But not only do we have the strategic plan, this past year, our city staff adopted 5 pillars for engagement in the way that we interact with our community, and we set a standard and a bar for us to be able to reach towards in the way that we serve all of you. And those 5 bridges or pillars of success are, number 1, innovation, making sure that we think outside of the box to solve our complex challenges. Equity, making sure that we take a look and understand that equity doesn't equate to equality, but making sure that we are equitable in our work throughout this entire community, solving problems in the way that they're needed to be solved. Number 3 is community impact. Because when you take a look at 5, 10, 20 years from now, you want to make sure that the impact that this city is having on our citizens is a positive one. Organizational excellence is a standard that we're going to reach across every city department so that you receive the best in customer service and that you receive the best support in this city that we can possibly give. And last but not least is collaboration, because without collaboration, it means nothing, because we need partners, we need each other, we need to move forward collaboratively to have the greatest impact on our future. And according to our strategic goal, which was completed a couple years ago, our first goal is to fly the W, and that's developing a sense of pride in Waterloo. We have been able to celebrate and share a steady stream of positive content that has grown our online audience by more than 40%. Our live streams, our videos, our images, and feature writing are reaching hundreds of thousands of people all over the country and the world, exposing them to the good news happening daily that is worth promoting. And according to Experience Waterloo, and we have our director, Tavis Hall, and some of his team here, over 800,000 visitors visit the city of Waterloo this last year. Goal number 2 is elevating housing. And we are working hard to redevelop, renovate, or improve more than 800 residents in Waterloo in 8 years by providing access to capital and opportunity. And that goal has even shifted. If you hang around a little while, you probably know that that goal has even shifted from 800 to 800 new housing units, single home families, to 800 multi-residence homes, but also 800 rehab and refurbished housing units within the city. So there's more work to do, no. But we're happy to report that there are 245 new housing units, 57 new single and multi-family homes, and a 180-unit residential complex and an 8-plex, all newly being rebuilt or developed this past year. And community development has hired new team members to fill vacancies for us to be able to ramp up programs and projects involving housing initiatives with our partners. And we've started neighborhood infill new construction housing projects and are addressing the former St. Mary's school site for potential housing affordable development opportunity. Our legal department is working on some 20 dilapidated properties to renovate or replace them, and we have hired an additional rental inspector to provide the community with increased inspections. And we are once again offering home buyer educations for first-time home buyers with income limitations. But another one of our strategic goals is to celebrate and connect neighborhoods by leveraging Waterloo's rich traditions among our residents. And thanks to our Neighborhood Services Department, thousands of people took part in National Night Out, where food was donated by bringing friends, associations, and law enforcement together collaboratively across the city. And to engage people online, our geographic information systems revamped the city's website. And now there's easier access for residents and businesses to get the information they need. And we stream all of our city council meetings and public meetings to YouTube public access channels for transparency, plus sharing numerous videos highlighting city employees' projects and happenings throughout our entire city with our production crew. And technology advancements are touching nearly every corner of the city's operations. And our award-winning finance department continues to improve efficiencies by cutting waste and storage needs, by implementing an account automation scan system that results in rebates. Our public works is piloting smart street lights with monitoring cameras that count pedestrian and vehicle volumes. And they report temperatures and noise levels and notify us when lights are out, which we get a lot of calls to my office. But other improvements are coming with the $2.5 million federal grant where we were awarded to improve traffic safety operations and flow. And we are continuing to optimize our garbage and our waste pickup through software and technology. And according to the last sewer rate study, Waterloo continues to provide exceptional service while keeping rates at some of the lowest rates in the entire state. And city staff has taken on extraordinary measures to comply with federal, environmental, and state standards, including measures to satisfy and exceed the timeline on our consent decree. But to restate that in a different way, 8 years ago, the city had a consent decree that told us that we needed to improve our sanitary system throughout the city. And about $90 million later in that time frame, the city is poised to be in our demonstration period and hopefully the last year of what was conceived to be a 30-year consent decree. But we are continuing to move forward with our infrastructure and eliminating sewer overflows, backups, and prohibited discharges, all with the goal of establishing a carbon-free community. And our waste management continues to make progress by developing renewable gas products, capturing methane that's currently being emitted from the city-owned wastewater treatment, then cleaning it to make it renewable gas, which would significantly reduce our gas house emissions. Our sanitation department won the Iowa Recycling Association's Community Award for their utilization of technology. Our waterworks is using tech enhancements to change how staff works with customers and streamline our workflow, and implemented an online system for orders and internal inspections, and our code enforcement applications are making their process more efficient, which means that streamlining things like the over 4,000 animal control calls they handle each year. And speaking of animals, our Waterloo Fire Rescue is bringing dogs back into our fire service. Now, some of you may remember, and may not, dogs were utilized as protectors of horse-drawn engines, and later as arson investigation tools, which is a growing trend right now, using dogs as stress relief. But our fire rescue is also dedicating a 4th frontline ambulance and crew near the North End growth. And the revenue generated will help pay for 8 firefighters and upgrade the EMS equipment and ambulance fleet. And congrats to Waterloo Fire as well on the Lifeline Silver Award from the American Heart Association, which recognizes the department's commitment and care for patients with heart attacks and strokes. And when it comes to keeping the citizens safe, our emergency response to police protection, we are happy to report that our Waterloo Police Department in many years has finally reached full staff. And this is a result of a collaborative effort between officers, supervisors, human resources, finance, elected officials, and the community. And this year alone, officers received already 180 firearms from potential offenders and stopped several situations that could have resulted in gun-related violence. And congratulations to 7 officers that received life-saving awards from the city. They each put their lives at risk to save the life of a citizen, and we are grateful to all our police and fire for going to incredible lengths to protect and serve. And Waterloo Works is our goal, and that goal is to grow a diverse and skilled workforce that connects people and employers for mutual growth. But to attract new businesses and provide the connectivity, Waterloo Fiber is bringing high-speed internet through a city-owned and operated utility. No matter what zip code, no matter where you live across this entire community, all residents will have access to the service. And it's already drawing national attention and praise for the digital equity Waterloo Fiber will provide. And thanks to another record-breaking year for permits, the city is double where and when I say permits, I don't mean fines, right? I'm talking about permitted value from development. The city is double where we were at last year and on pace to reach more than $160 million in permits. And the economic developments include 300 acres near the airport, 6 new industrial buildings, creating over 60 new jobs, and $8 million in taxable value in one area. And a master build-out at North Crossing is underway, and over $13 million in improvements through a partnership with developer Ben Stroh. This includes a 180-unit new residential complex, which is the largest this area has seen in over 40 years, a new senior center and a daycare center, and over 18 new lots for additional medical, retail, and restaurant opportunities. And a partnership with the Opus Group will transform over 180 acres in South Waterloo Business Park. The infrastructure and new buildings will open up the entire area for additional projects. And working with Jeff Stickford and Mercy One Hospital, the former St. Francis Hospital building was demolished. And now a new Scooters Coffee, Starbucks Coffee, Quick Star, and 20 new residential units are in its place. Truly a great Grayfield transformation, all aided by state of Iowa tax credits. And we want to ensure that local residents can be gainfully employed and help support the workforce needs in the Cedar Valley. And thanks to the Human Rights Commission and the advocacy of the Waterloo City Council, the Fair Chance Initiative, which this legislation prevents employers from asking about their records before a conditional job offer, thus enabling citizens to have the opportunity to have a fair chance for an interview and showcase their actual skill sets and progress they made in their lives. And in addition, our Human Rights Department is now fully staffed, increasing their ability to support and educate residents in areas, reducing the racial wealth gap and acquiring housing. Re-engineering the Crossroads Mall area is another focused strategic goal, and we call that Crossroads Double Down. And this entire area will benefit from the extensive LaPorte Road corridor underway that will overhaul the streetscape from North LaPorte Road all the way to Lost Island Theme and Water Parks. And this was helped with over a $20 million federal grant that helps with the bulk of this project. And you take that and you add the incredible work that's being on San Martin in this corridor, and you have the beginnings of something special. But infrastructure improvements have culminated with award-winning results. The University Avenue project was honored as best in the state among engineers. And other notable projects including platting 24 acres for four new businesses at the Waterloo Air and Rail Park, and the Westdale Bioswale, that rhymes. This is the first of its kind in the city and where vegetation is used to slow down and clean stormwater runoff. Bridge projects, infrastructure projects include 11th Street, Park Avenue, Hammond Avenue, and Charlotte Road bridges replacements. But perhaps the most visually impactful bridge project is the 4th Street pedestrian bridge lighting, now called the Waterloo River Lights Experience. And this brings us to our goal to power up downtown by keeping our city's core evolving to meet the needs of future generations. Truly, this downtown transformation in recent years has been incredible. From multiple departments, volunteer skilled labor, and private donors converging to make the 4th Street Bridge project happen, the nightly light show along the pedestrian walkway is now a visible symbol of unity and progress. And the hourly tribute to veterans with the red, white, and blue show connects to the larger Veterans Way project that includes streetscape banners to honor them, and the incredible Sullivan Brothers Memorial Plaza, where we'll be dedicating in a few moments. And of course, we have to mention the newly renovated and spectacular Waterloo Convention Center, which we're in right now, as it's attracting thousands of people to our downtown for countless events. And thanks to the staff for making this event happen today, along with our friends from the Best Western across the street. But we were honored to receive a Phoenix Award at the National Brownfields Conference for extraordinary redevelopment. The project included the former Grand Hotel site, now Grand Crossing Condominiums, the former Waterloo Bowl-In site, now Hawkeye Community College Van G. Miller Advanced Learning Center, the former Wonder Bread Bakery, now Single Speed Brewing Company, and the smaller buildings that were demolished by the flood of 2008, now where the Cedar Valley Sportsplex sits. And from my Waterloo days to Irish Fest, it's hard to find a weekend where something positive and family-friendly isn't happening in downtown Waterloo. Festivals and celebrations are attracting tens of thousands of people to check out all we have to offer. And the Waterloo Center for Arts is the flagship Haitian art collection, which continues to delight and attracts viewers from all across the world. And in actuality, it's the largest public collection of Haitian art in the entire world. And thanks to the incredible work of our Main Street Department and its director, executive director, Jessica Rucker is here also, we've been able to realize more than 80% of our downtown businesses or buildings being occupied with businesses and thousands of people living in our downtown area. And our seventh goal is Sportstown USA, and that is our ability to plant our flag as the most rec-friendly and sports-focused town in Iowa. And it's happening. Gates Park is being transformed because of the generous support of so many partners, but into a destination with new outdoor tracks, courts and fields. Community development worked with leisure services to create Edison Park. It's a students-led a project for the Miller Park basketball court, and the Greenbelt and trail improvements continue to maintain the miles and miles of green space for outdoor recreation. The Sportsplex won another award, being the best of the best among the Courier local fitness centers, and thousands of members visited the facility in over 150,000 times, along with 1,300 private rentals. In fact, the well-worn turf that was just replaced. Our engineering department completed the marina project just upstream of the Manats on the Cedar River. And now there's a permanent boat dock on the west side of the downtown, along with temporary kayak launches. The Waterloo Blackhawks brought in over 8,000 more fans this season compared to last, and Young Arena attracted more than 167,000 visitors for hockey games, ice skating, and walking. And the Iowa Woo, can you say woo with me? 1, 2, 3. Woo! Football team, and the owners, Julia and John, are here, and the executive director, general manager Bailey is here as well, so get your season tickets. But they just announced it's kicking off this coming year, bringing sports and entertainment and excitement to the Cattle Congress in the Hippodrome. And perhaps one of the biggest projects to impact our youth sports in some time is a planned hard court facility in the downtown near the Marriott Hotel is going to offer indoor courts for weekday practice use and weekend tournaments that will attract thousands of visitors from all over. But right now, please check out this video.
Waterloo Fiber is one of the largest, if not the largest, municipal network in the state. So that is hugely significant. Building a 100% fiber network, it's just, it's the latest cutting edge technology. We're really making sure that it's a well-built and robust network. So it's going to change a lot of people's lives because we're building out to the entire city of Waterloo, which means that every address in Waterloo will have the fiber option for internet, and they'll have the ability to get up to 10 gig speeds, which is incredible. As far as economic development, in today's day and age, every business who's looking to either move or open a branch in a city, one of the first questions they ask is, what's your internet situation?
One of the barometers of economic development they have is how much permit activity we have. Right now, I think our largest year was 180 million back when the casino was built. Then you flash forward to about 2016, we had 161 million. This year, we are at 40 million after 3 months. Last year at this time, we were at 18 million, and we ended at 135 million. we're kind of starting to put the pieces together to make these improvements for transportation, make these improvements for the sewer, the water, and all that. We have some of the cheapest rates out there. I think we might be the cheapest overall for big cities in Iowa. So again, it's all the departments, waste management, waterworks, transportation, engineering, traffic, all them coming together to put forth some great projects.
What's great about us in Waterloo is how close we are to so many other major markets, right? So we're an hour from Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, 2 hours from Des Moines, 3 hours from Minneapolis, 4 hours from Omaha, 4 hours from Chicago. So we have so many large metro areas to pull visitors from. So thinking of how many youth are involved in sports, not just locally, but across the country right now, that puts us so well positioned to bring in these kids and these families to play sports. To have a facility that has 8 basketball courts, 16 volleyball courts, I mean, it doesn't just double what our output can be, it triples it. The location is perfect for a couple reasons. It's right behind a beautiful large hotel, right? So that's great for those people coming in. It's right off the highway, so it makes it easy to access for these teams coming in. But then being in a downtown, you are 2 or 3 minutes from great shopping, from great dining, from really good entertainment from our museum districts.
We really have seen such a tremendous uptick in the last decade or so. When you think of all the development, all the public investment, all the private investment, there have been folks who've really put skin in the game to make Waterloo what it is. And so, we encourage folks just to come check it out. You check it out for a weekend, you check it out for a couple days during a conference. We suspect folks will come back. And our ultimate goal is for folks to move in. Most folks don't move somewhere unless they visit it. And so we recognize those quick trips are an opportunity to introduce folks to what could be their home.
Right, and finally, perhaps our most significant goal set before us is to make Waterloo a community of opportunity. And this year alone, I was privileged to attend over 122 events and ribbon cuttings and hold 930 meetings in the mayor's office to give the public direct access. From our library that's breaking attendance records to our downtown, as I mentioned, being over 80% occupied with businesses and restaurants and shopping, and 90% filled with living spaces. We are offering so many opportunities for people of all ages to be engaged. We are on track this year to reach over $160 million in economic development projects, and that means new companies, new housing, new jobs, and again, new opportunities for all of you to benefit from and improve our quality of life. Through the Waterloo Youth Council, we are giving young people a voice. And their efforts in last year's legislative session had an impact over 500,000 young people across the state. On the back of every student's ID card across the entire state of Iowa, there is a barcode, and that barcode, you scan it, and it helps give access to mental health services for our young people. So we're not stopping here. We're going to take that message to Washington, D.C. And that's where all of you come in. We cannot be a community of opportunity without volunteers stepping up to and stepping out to serve. And Jessica Rucker with Main Street Waterloo and Lauren Fink with the Volunteer Center are just 2 of the many people looking for help and support. Whether it's reading a book to children, support building a house, or volunteering in some capacity, it makes a difference. And that difference is what I am challenging the community towards next year. That our rates of volunteerism, our rates of getting in schools, being actively involved in making Waterloo a better place, I'm going to challenge this entire community. And the spirit of community and the people who power it are behind the stories through the monuments which we are about to dedicate on the Sullivan Brothers Memorial Plaza. And in the case of the Sullivan family, 5 brothers risked it all to protect the freedoms we enjoy as Americans. And in a small way, your sacrifices for the greater good contribute to the quality of life we all benefit from. So we need you to join the ranks and to serve your community in the spirit of volunteerism, because we believe this plaza inspires us. And as a civil rights activist, Marion Wright Edelman once said, "Service is the rent we pay for being. It is the very purpose of life and not something you do in your spare time." So thank you for your time and your service to the city.